everyone, and welcome to just another episode. My name is Lubadia Samidze. I'm the founder of Upthink Coaching, a coach training organization. We are having interviews with coaches who work in different coaching niches. And today I'm happy to welcome Nadine Stille, an ICF-credentialed coach who's career and leadership coach for moms. Nadine, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Lou. I'm super excited and so grateful you reached out. I'm looking forward to our conversation.
Great. Could you please introduce yourself a little bit? Where are you? What you do? And tell us a bit more about your professional and personal background.
Of course, yes. So, hi everyone. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Nadine Stille. I'm an international career and life coach for ambitious moms who want more from their lives, go after the thing that they can't stop thinking about, even if it's slightly freaking them out. So usually this has to do with their career or leadership position, any sort of job changes, job advancements, maybe even starting their own business, following a passion project, or simply wanting more quality time for themselves. And through personalized one-on-one coaching experiences, the moms I work with generally feel more energized, confident, powerful, and pursuing their dreams and their goals. Like you just mentioned, I'm ICF accredited. I'm also a certified positive intelligence coach. And I have a varied career in different industries, countries, levels, positions, including actually, as a maybe interesting fun fact on the side, I was a host on a sailing catamaran going around the Spanish island for a year. And the most recent really impactful career that I had before I started my own coaching business was I was a leader and a hiring manager in a global tech company. I do now live in Vancouver and the Canadian Pacific coast. This is my sixth country altogether I'm living and working at, and this is where I have my family as well.
Thank you for introducing yourself. I also know that you have background in emotional intelligence because we met in an emotional intelligence certification course.
That's correct. Thank you for reminding me. Totally just slipped my mind. That's true.
Right. I was really interested to talk to you because the idea behind this interview series was that a lot of coaches that we train ask about choosing their coaching niche. And they're really curious in what are all those different coaching niches and how do I choose my niche? Do I need to be a generalist or should I choose a narrow niche? And how narrow can the niche be? We already did an interview with a career coach previously, but what I think is curious about your choice of the niche is that you went even further, niching down, saying that you're a career coach for ambitious moms. And I was wondering, what's the motivation behind your niching down and how actually that worked for you? Do you see any upsides or downsides of that?
So first of all, I really love this topic. I used to support other coaches too, and that was always like one of the main topics, like, oh, where do I concentrate on and what do I do? So I totally get it. And I actually started out using, like, just to kind of go a tiny bit back as well to how I got to who I'm coaching right now, is that I started using the coaching approach as a leader and hiring manager during my tech job or a leadership role, and then really got into coaching mainly women in the workplace, and then moved on to, it's constantly evolving, and then moved on to coaching people who would identify themselves as activists, people or change makers and world citizens, people who naturally really wanted something better for the world. That also includes coaches, by the way. I was coaching coaches, people who naturally want better for the world and their communities. And then through my own journey of becoming a mom, especially early on during the COVID pandemic, I realized how little support there was specifically for mothers, and especially also because most of the care work still falls back on the mother being the default parent, while also doing a full-time job. So you were basically doing two full-time jobs, the caring job that you don't usually get paid for, and then the career job that you probably also get paid less for than your male counterparts in your own team or in a similar role. And that just all really resonated with what I value in life and what I don't value. And so this was, and I also thought, hey, mothers are the ultimate change makers and activists raising the next generation. So this is where I knew I could bring all my own experience through like moving in different countries and having all my work experience and the training and my personal experience as a mom. This could all come together, and this is how I moved into coaching specifically moms. But I don't think I'm at the end yet. I think there's still more to come. This is not the end goal. I'm actually really at peace with that. I know it's going to come. I'm happy where I am now, but I also know that I'm going to evolve. There's more to come at some stage, and I'm okay with that. I'm looking forward to it. And so far, I only see upsides to niching down. I'd like to be the someone to someone, not the everything to everyone, because specifically at moms, we have like only so many resources available, so much time and energy. And I would like to be clearly or laser focused on where I spend my energy rather than spread myself too thin and trying to be everyone to everyone.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you for sharing. I also like that you said that this niche and you in your practice may evolve. I think this is a very natural process, and I always tell coaches that you can pick a niche first, but you're not married to the niche. And if you want, you can move forward. And sometimes your niche finds you, which is also a very natural process for some people.
I find that moms are, for them, there really needs to be a clear return on investment. So if they do take time away and dedicate it to themselves or to something in coaching, then it's very clear that they do not have that time upfront, at least for their family, right? Or something else. So there needs to be a clear return on investment. That needs to be clear when you're selling coaching or when you're marketing yourself, like this is what you can expect. Because they're also so busy, it needs to really fit in and be flexible with their lives. So because of that, my coaching sessions with moms tend to be shorter. So usually you would probably see maybe an hour minimum with a coaching client. My coaching sessions would usually be like laser focused 30 minutes to 45 minutes max, right? There's a lot of flexibility built into my contract. So we can easily pivot and say, okay, kids are sick, life's happening, everything is up to there, and you cannot make that coaching session for whatever reason. It's to take that pressure off, the shame off, oh, I have to cancel or reschedule. It's like, no, I get it. It's like, let's do that. It's built in. So there's a longer engagement time that they can use a certain amount of sessions instead of just saying, okay, 10 sessions, 3 months, that's it. It's like, okay, you have 10 sessions. Ideally, this is the time you go through, maybe 3 months. That might work best for you. But if you need more support, we can squeeze that in, or you have to use them up within, I don't know, 5-6 months time. But they're in charge. They have the flexibility on the options. And what else is different that I don't know, it's probably the times when they can make it happen. So that obviously that helps me in my position. I'm also a mom. So that it helps me. Most times coaching sessions come in at lunch break time. So it's like, they have something to eat with them, or, if they have an hour, half an hour coaching, half an hour de-stressing, or whatever else there is, or grabbing their lunch. At the end, so during lunchtime, at the end of their, say, business hours, or once the kids are in bed. So later in the evening, which works out great. I'm on the on the West Coast in North America. So that opens up my lunchtime would be their evening time, right? In the evening time, say in Europe, or say even on the East Coast. So there's a lot of flexibility, and that's how I get to coach people around the world. Those are some of the main things that I've noticed from the changes that I wanted and needed to make to accommodate my own career and motherhood journey, and those of my clients as well.
I love that you're sharing this. This is so important, especially for newer coaches, because as a coach trainer, I'm very well aware that they are hoping to get a kind of formula, right? Well, tell me how many sessions there should be ideally, or how many months should we spend on one coaching contract, ideally. And I think that a lot of newer coaches tend to seek for that ideal formula of a successful coaching engagement. And now that you're saying that, okay, I have a specific audience with very specific needs, and therefore my coaching contract is accommodating all those needs to serve my niche. I find this very liberating and inspiring. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It was a learning journey for me too, because I did have those packages and coming up with, oh yeah, this would work well, but it didn't work, because we always ended up amending it, and it doesn't serve me nor the client, right? Or the mothers I'm working with. So I was like, we want flexibility. I'm talking about flexibility in the workplace all the time for other moms. It's like, I can lead by example. Let's make it happen.
That's beautiful. You're walking the talk.
I tried to.
Well, we need all try to be kinder with ourselves, right? We do our best.
Yeah.
In terms of the topics that you typically work with, would you say it's more or less the same as for non-moms who do career coaching? Is there a specifics related to, this blended journey of motherhood and career?
Yeah, so it's I would say there are some clear trends there that I wouldn't necessarily see in like general career coaching, and the topics depend a tiny bit though on where they are in their motherhood journey, because if they still have say younger children, the topic that oftentimes comes up is like, how do I get out of this grind? It's like everything is just, I don't have any energy. It's just relentless all the time. And who am I now? What do I want now that maybe my values have changed and shifted? What do I actually want from life, for my career, for everything? So there's a whole lot of exploring the who am I now, getting your mojo and your energy back, and that kind of, feeling a sense for yourself and what you actually want. And a lot of that then comes with also, really, I don't necessarily like the word, but that's what usually comes up, is that work-life balance, or the work-life integration. How I usually say it's like, how do you not burn out? How do you not stress out juggling both of those roles? So that's frequently, and because of how society is set up, and it's not really necessarily putting women in the workplace at the same level as their male counterparts, there's a whole lot of like imposter syndrome going on still. Confidence topics are coming up. How do I advance and advocate for myself? And that's all mixed in with people pleasing, no boundary setting, and perfectionism, just the need to show up. The feeling to and the need to show up 180% all the time. And that's, of course, not sustainable. Being the perfect mom and the perfect leader or, worker, it just has to clash, and it's not sustainable. So those are the types of topics that tend to blend in and come up in most people's journeys with me.
And earlier you mentioned that it's very important for this category of clients to see very clear ROI, return on investment. So in their case, what would that be? How do they define it?
So it's usually there's some sort of like assessment at the beginning, and then we're checking in between, like during the entire engagement, and then later on as well, and really like on things like where are your energy levels, where are your confidence levels, how much more calm do you feel or stress. Those types of things are coming in together with tangible yes or no. Yes, I have this new job, or yes, I followed through with my passion project and started writing that book, or published my first podcast episodes. So those are very tangible things. And then those other ones are more, half a year ago, I would have said yes to all these things and started, be a people pleaser. Now I said no, and I have all this time for myself, and I feel a lot more lighter. So these are not so many like tangible things. That's something that they need to assess, but that comes then in throughout the journey.
Well, thank you for sharing. And I assume the type of coaching that you do is in alignment with the ICF model of coaching. And I'm asking this because we provide ICF approved programs. Therefore, our coaches that we train know the ICF model well, and they also have this question: is this niche compatible with what we are taught? Or do I have to be a career consultant, for example? Or do I have to have some background in HR in order to provide career coaching to someone? So what are your thoughts on this?
So for one, it's a very important question. I get why you're asking this, and I do think that a very large portion, if not the majority, of what I do is in alignment with those with the ICF model, and obviously their competencies and everything else that's that goes with it. And that's very important. It's like so ingrained. I was like, what's this question about originally? I know you sent me a few prompts, and it's like, huh? And because it was just so natural to me over the years, it's like, yeah, that's what I do, of course. I was like, am I doing this or not? I was like, yeah, that's your coaching. And then obviously you have, I've done other like coaching trainings over the years. I have my own experience as a mom. There is the experience with me as a hiring manager and as a leader. All this comes together. So eventually that also flows in. It's how how I know how to speak or even attract those clients, because I know in their heads, like, these are the type of problems that would come up, at the end of the year. Okay, year-end review. These are the stressors that I, as a hiring manager, would go through. And as a leader, I know I would go through this as an employee because I had my, my own assessments in that way. And how can you prepare for it? How can you go with it? So I can provide that information upfront, say on social media or in my blogs, or speak to it, which all obviously helps in creating trust, building relationships, and attracting those types of clients. And it's obviously different or specific to my niche. I can speak to that a lot more focus, which is another reason why I absolutely recommend niching down. And so yeah, that all flows into my coaching. In the code, on the like the pure coaching sessions would be more coaching than obviously the mentoring and training and advising. That is a different thing. It can come through if we're, say, brainstorming ideas together and then reflect back with, hey, what resonates most with you on this? So there's ways that can flow in, but also as part of coaching, it's not just the coaching sessions. You also need to run the business. You need to do business development. You need to attract clients and talk to them, because they're not just like coming in. So this is where all my experience and my training really flows into the whole running a coaching business side of things.
This is another great insight. As you may guess, business development questions and topics are very, very common and important, and I do believe that real practitioners' examples and journey are the best illustrations for that. So, what would be your tips for someone who's trying to identify their niche, especially if they want to niche down, not just be a leadership coach, but a leadership coach, with an extension?
Yeah, exactly. So first of all, I would love to echo what you mentioned earlier on. It's like, hey, just look at who your clients are, and they might have already found you. You just need to be very open-minded to it, and display that curiosity. It's like, hey, what's combining all the people who are already who I'm already coaching. And so that would be things like, look at your clients. Also, if there's lots and lots of different types of clients, I'm sure you have a favorite client. For who is listening now, I'm sure you have a favorite client. Why is that? What does this favorite client bring to your coaching sessions? What do they do? What topics are they bringing up? What makes us like, oh my God, I can't wait. Let's see what they're coming up with. I'm sure there is someone like that. So investigate that a bit further. On the flip side, which are your least favorite clients? I'm sure there is someone too. Who is your least favorite client and why is that? Right? So okay, definitely not those types of people or those types of topics that you'd want to coach. Another question or something to look into is what are your hobbies, interests, passions that are not maybe necessarily your job function, right? So something else altogether. It's like broaden the net a tiny bit and see, what are you constantly reading articles about? What are the types of books that you're reading? I don't know, TV shows, podcasts, what is it that combines all of this, and explore that a bit further if it's like really broad. And or oftentimes I see coaches not complaining, but it's like people tend to come to me for advice, or they're always like, I don't know, they think I might know everything for some reason, or it's like very insightful. And I'm always asking these questions, but what combines these people? What makes them come to you and seek out a question or a conversation? So be curious about that too. But also, seriously, like, don't overcomplicate it. If you're okay and happy and it resonates right now with where you are currently working, and these are the type of people who you want to coach, go for it. And it also shouldn't be the default function. So if you're like, oh, I'm working in tech and I'm going to coach, say, students in tech, right? Female students in tech, in, say, female developers in tech, for instance. That's fairly niche. Female developer students in tech. If that's who are you currently surrounded with, but it doesn't necessarily resonate with you, it's like, don't go for it, because you're not doing them a service and you're not doing yourself a service either. It's just to, like, don't go for the default function just because you think you should. That's not the thing either. You just keep on looking. You'll find together. I'm sure of it. Everyone evolves in that sense. So yeah, don't overcomplicate it, but also don't really go for the thing you think you should be doing. Never a good thing. Should is a red flag for me. Absolutely. What about you?
Thank you for sharing. And in my heart, there's so much truth in this for me. Personally, I love doing different things. I have diverse interests, and even Upthink Coaching as a company, we do at least 3 to 4 different lines of work, including organizational leadership development and coach training, supervision and mentoring for coaches. But at the same time, at a certain point, I did find so many diverse interests, at least in my personal coaching, very overwhelming. I guess, especially in terms of reading and learning. So you said, see what you like reading. see what you like listening to. And I think for me, that was one of the best strategies to identify that I really wanted to focus on leadership, in particular global leadership, and also my life context, where I'm an expat living in China. So I naturally got into this intercultural leadership or global leadership niche, right? But even within that niche, I have my own sweet spots. I'd say a lot of people come to me for some reason. As you said, I don't know why, but a lot of people come to me to get coached around assertiveness or confidence, which is very curious because according to the EQI profile, the emotional intelligence profile, assertiveness is my number one emotional competence, which I think I managed to leverage, so that I don't overdo it. But yeah, this is what people come to me for personally. So I find it very relatable, what you just shared. And I agree with not overcomplicating it and just diving in and then seeing how you like it or which part of it you like, and then move forward based on that.
Yeah, and I can tell you've evolved too, right? It's not where you are right now wasn't always where you coached, and you were curious. It's like, okay, confidence seems to be a recurring theme with my with my clients, and tapping into the expat or global leadership type role as well. It's something that was more from your personal life because you've moved around. So yeah, I mean, with me having moved around a lot as well, it certainly helps with my clients that are not in Canada right now as well. So yeah.
My next question would be about overcoming the fear of niching down. I think this idea might be scary for many coaches. Like, am I saying no to so many other clients if I niche down? So what's your take on this?
Oh, I know. I used to be like that too. And it's so common, but it's like I mentioned earlier, I'd rather be the someone to a specific set of people than spreading myself too thin and be not able to show up 100% for everyone out there. It's not sustainable. I learned it also doesn't bring me joy. It's too much. And then you might end up with people coming to you who you don't actually enjoy working with. Are you then okay just saying no? Or is like, are you going through with it for the sake of it and you feel some sort of resentment? It's not serving either of you, neither the client nor you. So absolutely, I'm all for for niching down. And it took a bit because I always I tend to be like, I want to know what's going on, and and have some like a sense of control. But here it's just like, just choose it, go with it, know that you can evolve. It's like, if maybe even I don't know any coach who started off with one niche is still in that same niche and is happy and successful. I don't like doesn't like, no one comes to mind. I have a huge coaching network, just no one comes to mind. Like, I'd be interested if someone's still there. Everyone I know has evolved, and that's a good thing because you want to embody that. You want to lead by example, evolving throughout your life, because that's where you're leading your clients through as well, right? Yeah, I know I'll be changing my niche at some stage, or even drilling down a tiny bit more. When I first coached specifically moms, it was more around the wellness topic for newer moms, until I realized, hey, it doesn't quite resonate. And then they tend to be not quite as ready as mothers who have, who are in their career later on, and they have older kids, or at least a year plus. That I needed to learn that, right? And going through it. And yeah, what else? Let me just think about why niching down. So yeah, definitely the like just going, yeah, just going for it, really. I mean, just check my notes. Okay, yeah. So and the other one other thing that kind of relates to the not being like spreading yourself too thin. If I have a particular, or now that I have a particular niche, I know exactly who my audience is. I can speak to them. I know what they're going through. I know their challenges. I know what they want. I know their problems. I know the solutions, or have some like a general idea. I know what's coming up throughout the year, if there's some sort of like cycle, especially okay, stress of planning the summer holidays when there's no childcare available, or summer holiday stress, or back to school, or planning out the holiday season, all those different things. And I can anticipate and I can speak to that very, very specifically when it comes down to like the business side, business development side of things, or the marketing type of things. And that builds my expertise, my trust, and I can be that someone to that particular niche. And yeah, that builds trust and draws in maybe speaking engagements, if it's that, or clients, and lots of different things that all help my business. And yeah, eventually, someone once told me, no one wants to be a life coach, but we all end up doing it anyway, even though it might not be our our title. And it's actually true. Usually when people come to me for career coaching, we will end up coaching on life topics as well, because not one topic exists in a silo. If you have low confidence going back into the workforce after something, then it's a confidence topic that will show up somewhere else in your life. If you don't have any energy or time to dedicate to a job search or to work for that promotion, then we're looking into time management skills. We're looking into introducing ways to create more space for you to get that energy back in you. Maybe we're looking into boundary setting and self-esteem topics. And that all feeds into career and leadership coaching. But it's actually topics that would normally, you would say, fall under the life coaching topics. You will eventually end up coaching all these topics. It's just, how do you attract those clients? How do you speak to them? How do you get related, or can you relate to them? That is basically the niche and how you're attracting them. Do you have similar experiences with your clients?
When I'm listening to you, another idea comes to mind is that a lot of coaches, at least some of those who shared with me, have a concern that a narrow niche may not be financially sustainable because they're kind of cutting off the portion of the audience and focus on the other portion. But I guess what you just said about being so focused on building your personal brand and expertise and being associated with a certain type of niche or range of topics can bring that financial sustainability.
Absolutely, yeah. And I'm coaching people who do not fall under the mom category at all. I'm coaching women who are not moms. I'm coaching, like just today, I coached one of my clients. Clara said it, I will never, ever have children. He's a guy. But people still relate to what I say, or my coaching style, or they've been recommended somehow, or that comes in. I still get to choose if I want to work with them or not, right? If they fall into that category. But why not? This is just who you're attracting, who you're speaking to, because those are your ideal clients that will also, let's face it, it's like, if we already choose to be a coach, why not have a bit of fun with it at the same time? We are in charge of running our own business. We might as well make it fun and something that lights us up. If we can go to work in our own job that is, not bringing us joy, then why do it? We might as well not. We're in the business of bringing more essentially fulfillment and joy to other people's lives, I believe we need to lead by example with that. And so choose to work with people who light you up and bring you joy and where you're looking forward to working with them. And I think that's super important. It's like, if you already have a choice, why choose to work with people who you don't resonate with? It's like, no.
That sounds pretty good. I've got another question based off of that. A lot of coaches have this question whether they can coach on a topic where they don't have any related life experience. So, say, can someone decide to become a career coach for moms if they are not a mom themselves? Maybe it's a male leader who doesn't even have children, but who has a team full of moms, right? So they can relate to the audience. Or maybe it's in their life that they are surrounded by lots of moms and they can relate to this type of audience. So is that okay? Or will that work for a client? Would be credible if someone chooses an issue for an audience where they can personally, or where they cannot personally associate themselves with.
Yeah. So I feel that there's no special needs required. I don't think you need to be a mom to coach moms. You need to be able to, just like with any other coaching clients, you need to be able to support those moms, show that curiosity and non-judgment, and basically show up for your clients just like with everything else. I do think it will give an advantage if you have a background in leadership coaching or being in a leadership position or in a career that is related to, or have some experience in that area. Does that mean you need to be a woman or a mom? No, for sure not. But I do think you need to have some sort of, like, people will ask, right? It's like, what makes you? And this can be super powerful, a super powerful selling point as well. Like you mentioned, say if there is a father or a man who has this passion of helping moms out because of whatever that reason is, right? It might be personal experience, it might be their value system, or because they're surrounded and they see a need and they're so passionate about a particular topic. That could be the sales point and the trust factor for someone to say, actually, I'm going to go with you. But just like with everything, it's like, what is your why? Why would you like to do this? What's motivating you to do that? And that can be super, super powerful. You just have to tell the story. Everyone's up for a story. So what would be yours if you're interested in coaching mothers with careers or in a leadership position?
Sounds amazing. Thank you so much, Nadine, for sharing today. And I'm glad we've done so much myth busting around niches. I hope this conversation inspires some of our coaches, or maybe many other coaches, to be brave with niching down if they wish to do so. Is there anything else that you'd like to share today as a closing statement, perhaps?
Just go for it. Go for it. Listen, I don't quite know where I've read it or who said it recently, but something that comes to mind is a quote along the lines of like the noise in your head is oftentimes overshadowing what the heart whispers. So try to tune up the noise in your head, listen a bit more to what your heart says, and then just go for it. Just go for it. Take a leap. Tiny or mighty, just go for it.
Thank you so much for being with us today, and best of luck in your coaching career.
Thank you so much for having me, Luba. It's been wonderful.